Hey guys, this is Karen with Naturally with Karen, and I wanted to share some really cool stuff today. I live with three canine companions, a Rottweiler, a German Shepherd mix, and a 5-pound Applehead teacup Chihuahua with a big attitude named Pablo. Now, for over 20 years, I've been a raw food feeder, which means I feed exclusively meat. I get up in the morning and I cook livers and gizzards, and I bake yams, of course. And when they were puppies, they got grapes and raisins and bananas, but they kind of stopped eating them and they just didn't want to eat them anymore. So I started really thinking that if I was going to be sustainable and support a plant-based diet like I have for myself for all these years, I had to step it up a little bit and start, transitioning into offering other things that were going to be uplifting for them. And instead of sticking my hand in a bag and buying and carrying home meat all the time, I considered myself a primal ancestral feeder. And I still would be if the dogs were out getting their own food out in nature. They were out in the forest or going along the creeks and rivers, and they were finding, voles and different kinds of animals that they would do, right? But I read this book that I sent out to my email list. You can get on my email list at naturallywithkaren.com. And I sent it out less than a week ago, and I included a free book that I found called Vegan Dogs. Bless up, bless up. So in that email, I included the book that I read. It's a fairly short book. It's called Vegan Dogs. And some of it, if you don't really want to know all the science about certain things, that goes into deep science about the nutrition, which I didn't. I wanted to know the basic facts. So I skimmed the book and I put it in my email to my readers on my list at Naturally with Karen. Again, if you want to join that list, just go to naturallywithkaren.com and click on, or my Facebook page, same name, Naturally with Karen, and you can put your email address in there and be on my list immediately. Okay, so I have these bowls, and these bowls I was really fortunate enough to find at the Dollar Tree dollar store, so I grabbed 3 of them, okay? And I like them because they're stainless steel, and they're easy to clean, and they were $1 a piece, so I thought that was kind of a really cool hot tip. Now, so what I've been doing is Pure Luminosity, Kim, inspired me and motivated me without guilt tripping me. And she said, you're such a big proponent of plant-based food, but look at what these beings are going through in the factory farms. And of course I knew that, but it's good to have someone who's a sister, a friend, who thinks like you, who says, these aren't really sustainable and maybe we can try something else. Karen Jorgensen, who's on my Facebook page, had started feeding her dog, who's a beautiful golden retriever, the dog companion that she lives with, the canine, oatmeal and different kinds of porridges. And I thought, Karen, that's brilliant. I'm feeding 250 pounds worth of dogs per day. I could do that. So Karen and Kim, Pure Luminosity, inspired me to get motivated and think about what else I could do. I picked up some new bowls, which really got me motivated, $1 a piece, right? And like I said, I'm feeding 250 pounds worth of dog a day, and I'm feeding myself, okay, and a family member going through some addiction issues. And so my budget is a concern, right? I also noticed that some things were happening with the dogs that I wasn't really wild about. For example, the Rottweiler, Faya. He's 6 years old. Faya and Luna are 6 years old, and they're both large. Faya's an exceptionally large breed dog. He's 165 pounds with a 31-inch neck. And I thought, he's really done a lot of complaining and showing me that his left ACL was sore. And I know where it came from in the very beginning is that, I had someone that was exercising them when I was at work, and that person pushed them too far, and that can happen. But there's also other reasons that ACL issues happen with exceptionally large breed dogs. Now with Luna, she is a white German Shepherd mix. She's got a little, about 4% husky inside of her. Have a great day. And so I started noticing that she started having a lot more red in between her fingers and toes. And you could see it on a white dog, right? I started noticing that she started getting kind of red around her elbows, and that Fire started getting, a little bit more of those elbow patches that you start to see on dogs as they get older. And I thought, I believe in this and I am going to do this. I'm so inspired by Kim and Karen Jorgensen, Kim at Pure Luminosity. So I took some of the supplements that I use and I started constructing bowls for these guys. And I'm going to tell you that with these Doggy Superfood bowls, don't expect your canine companion to just run over and lap it up, because they might look at you just like my companions, or what I call my pack. I'm part of the pack. Anthony's part of the pack. Zawa's part of the pack. 3 dogs are part. So the 5 of us are what I consider the pack. And I'm the elder of the pack. I'm almost 60, right? So I'm the elder of the pack. And so I like to look at things through a pack filter, right? And so we have 2 young male humans, and we have 3 dogs, and we have this elder Karen here. So I did what Karen recommended the first day, and I went and I got a bag of the thick rolled oats. There's different kinds of oats, but I thought, I like that one. That's what I liked. I typically avoid grains. I don't eat a lot of grains. But I cooked them up some oatmeal. And I took my nuts.com freeze-dried cherries. I love nuts.com. And I put them in the water so they get nice and soft. I put the oatmeal and the freeze-dried cherries in there, cooked it up real good. And when it came off the stove and it cooled for a little bit, I put a little bit in each bowl with one of my bamboo spoons, and I did it. I kind of had fun with it. And I called it my Papa bowl, my Mama bowl, and my baby bowl for little Pablo, who's 5 pounds, because he's not going to eat what the others do, right? And the first day I did it, I made their bowls really tiny because I knew I was probably going to have to throw some of it away, and I didn't want to do that. I'd rather put it in the pan. And in fact, those first few days, I ate oatmeal and I ate the Mighty Tasty Hot cereal. That's what it's called in the bag. And I ate the extra quinoa, and I got grained out, but it was worth it because I cooked extra. I thought if they're hungry, I've got more. I can give them seconds. But I also made sure that I baked yams on the cookie sheet. Super easy to do. If you don't like that they get messy, put a little parchment paper down, and you can get parchment paper at the Dollar Tree. Same place I got my stainless steel bowls. So I built it. Freeze-dried cherries, the thick rolled oats that I got a big bag, and I just went back and got another big bag yesterday. And I got organic garnet yams, the ones that are real pretty, the jewel color, the almost purpley color. And I baked those. So when the oatmeal was off the stove, I cut it in pieces, and they'll eat the skin too because it's organic, and I washed it briefly. Put that in there. So we got cherries, thick rolled oats. Oats are strengthening to the body. The yams are loaded with the vitamin A, right? The cherries are loaded with the vitamin C. Now I put a little bit of the camu powder in there, which is 600 times the highest food-based vitamin C you could probably find. I added a little bit of my jar here of raw papita or pumpkin seed. Okay. I added a little bit in my jars. Look at how messy it is. I got to wipe it off. I'm not normally this messy, but my fingers were all over and stuff today. I added some hemp seed, which is 90% bioavailable protein. Okay. And on one of the days, not yesterday, but because we're talking about superfood doggy bowls, I also added moringa. Okay, so this moringa, because I'm a budget shopper, I found it at TJ Maxx. And I think, is there a price? Yeah, look at this. Look at it. Okay. TJ Maxx, $9.99. Okay. So I got this whole bag of moringa. Pretty good deal, right? I mean, the moringa is probably not going to expire. So, and it has, I think it has an expiration date on it. So what I do is I stock up on things when I have the money, whether it's I got the tax return or I made a little extra this month, and after all the bills have been paid, now I've got this extra little bit of money here. I plan and budget, and then I watch for when the sales are on nuts.com. So if they say order over $59 and you're going to get free shipping, order now and you can pick 5 of our trial, little 1 ounce bags of something. I think they had 8 trial bags when I made my order of over $100. So now you can see in my kitchen all these little nuts.com bags. And then sometimes I go to the dollar store and I pick up these for $1 when I get my stuff at OGO, and I put it in there. So I'm building superfood bowls every day. And after the first day, the second day they came over and they smelled it and they thought, well, the first one to go is Papa Bear. It's going to be Faya. Okay. Faya came over to the bowl and he was like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat it." And the Yam gave me the familiar transition. So it wasn't just like sticking his nose in a bowl of oats. Sometimes on my Facebook page, Naturally with Karen, I would show you the bowl where I just drizzled the date syrup on it, which is loaded with minerals, dates, right? It's just pure dates in the date syrup. And there's a picture of it on my Naturally with Karen Facebook page. Oats and the syrup, and then I start building and building, okay? I'm going to also go into how I make superfood cookies. I've talked about that a little bit, but I share those with the dogs too. So now the dogs are getting vitamin C. I put a little big dab of coconut oil, a little or a big dab, depending on if it's baby's bowl or Papa Bear's bowl, right? And eventually, Luna, who's the white German Shepherd mix, started to say, okay, I think I'll try that. But in any event, it was cool. And now I'm easily on my way. So I'm looking for bananas and yams and eventually more freeze-dried fruits from nuts.com as I can afford it. And I build these superfood bowls. Now, yesterday was what we call Thanksgiving. And my son wanted to go to a dinner, and I drove him over there, and they had a big piece of turkey left over. And I wasn't going to say, you guys can't have it. When I gave it to them, they were just like, "Oh, thank you. This is great," because that's all they've ever known, right? So I'm not going to be stupid about it. I'm going to make sure that I supplement and that I know that there are certain essential and amino acids, especially taurine, especially for kitties, taurine. But I can build those in little by little. There's a lot in the hemp seed. There's a lot in the chia seed that I add, the black chia. There's a lot in the raw pumpkins, the pepita, right? In this high mineral vitamin C powder. I can add all of that in. I love that. Thank you for loving the pack. They love you too, sis. Doggy superfood bowls are the way to go. Now, the only conundrum that you're going to find is, what are you going to do when you travel, right? Well, I think if I've gotten the dogs really used to eating this way, I found that when I ended up having to take a family member to the hospital and I was gone overnight and I had the dogs in the car, I ran to the natural food store and I got them some blueberry Cliff bars, okay? And I couldn't believe it, but those are fairly healthy, it depends on how you see things. But I got them the blueberry Cliff bars. So there I was at 12:30 at night. My family member didn't want me to leave them. This is just this last week or strong. And I knew that it was going to dip down to -1 outside. So I'm going through the long skywalk at Essentia at St. Mary's. Long. And it's kind of scary too, as a woman in the middle of the night, and I'm by myself and I'm thinking, the dogs can't freeze. The family member can't sit by themselves. They don't want to be left alone. I'd turned my heater off at home and the temps were dipping way down. I couldn't have my pipes freeze at home. So at 4:30 in the morning, after making 2 trips out to the car to make sure the dogs had the heater turned on and assuring the loved one, when the loved one fell asleep and it was still dark outside, I drove my car 40 minutes each way, brought the dogs home, turned on the heater, got them a snack, and got back to the loved one who was, still asleep and just waking up. So if you're in a pinch, Cliff bars, which have been on sale 5 for $5, They're really dense with nuts and protein and everything. And it was an easy holdover. So I thought I'd pass that along. Okay. So I don't mean this to be too long. I know you don't want to watch on and on and on, and get bored. But I'm pretty excited about this because it means, as I said to Kim at Pure Luminosity, and I encourage you to follow her channel, it means that even an old dog could learn new tricks. So if I'm almost 60 and I can change from being a hardcore, raw, primal, ancestral BARF, BARF is the acronym for bones and raw food, okay? And I'm one of the eldest around who started the raw food feeding with dogs and bones. And I'm not saying they're going to be strictly vegan dogs. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I can curtail going to the store and actively supporting buying chicken carcasses, as I did at Whole Foods, beef sticks and uncured ham sticks, and chicken leg quarters and big bags, 10-pound bags. We go through at least 2 of those a week. So if I'm not buying 20 pounds a week, and they typically are $6 a bag of chicken leg quarters, I'm saving how many chickens, but I'm also saving myself from putting my hands in all of that, which is full of bacteria. I'm saving chickens' lives, which matter to me, okay, a lot. I'm sustaining our planet more so with not having all of the chicken farming that goes on. And I'm also not hauling heavy bags home. I mean, I can haul home a big bag of those oats, and I think eventually I can buy it in bigger bulk packages elsewhere. So I'm not running to Duluth to Whole Foods to get it, but getting it delivered to me, thick rolled oats or something like that, right? So I'm evolving, and I'm sharing with you that you can do this. The dogs are thriving because now if I put a chicken carcass out there, how am I going to put the camu powder in it, right? So at first I thought to myself, this is going to be a lot. Like, I have to get up every day and cook this stuff. Oh my gosh. But it's 5 minutes. It's fun. And today, I got to tell you, I made chocolate cherry oatmeal with some cacao, and they loved it. They did. I put the yams in there, the black chia seed, and they loved it. So now I got to go get some more date syrup. I'm going to say so long for now. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please subscribe below because it shows me you want more. And I have so much to share with you. As an elder who's been into real and original medicine all of her life at 57 years old, I'm approaching 60. I'll be 58 next July. And even during deep negativistic periods of stress, I can still rise and take care of what I need to do. And I want you to be strong because I care about building a world family. That's how we're going to be able to survive this. Okay? So I'm going to say so long. Thank you so much, Kim, for supporting me. Be sure and subscribe to Naturally with Karen. And I also highly recommend that you go over to Pure Luminosity. Kim's got some great nuggets. All right, so long.